Greetings, quantum observers. I'm the coder in the program, and if you managed to sit through the fumbling intro, well, congratulations to both of us. We're glad you're here. We're going to continue our programming series, and to start this off, we're just going to get right into it, and we want to throw in an LCD screen here so we have some kind of output and something to actually get, some kind of block that we can kind of start writing our wrapper around. So I'm going to go in here real quick and change this name to something meaningful like LCD panel, set the content to text and images, and we will leave everything else the same for right now. Maybe put some text up here. Hello. There we go. So everything's all set up, and we can just get right into programming. I guess the first thing we should do after that is find out what a text panel is called. So let's go over here into our Malware site and scroll down. Let's click Get Started, and let's click on Namespace. So I don't see LCD panel in the L's here. Let's scroll down a bit more. Alright, there we go. I'm my text panel. So let's create a variable in our code here for our text panel. Let's edit this. Here we go. When you open this up, you're met with all this. The public program, that is a method that's called as soon as the program starts. And the save, I think, happens when you save your state. We don't need any of that right now. Excuse me. We don't need this update source. Get rid of that, and we can get rid of all the text in here. And that's all we need. So I'll Control A, Control C, and open up Notepad and paste that in there. So this is our main function. This is where all the magic happens. As of now, right now, this is only going to run one time. And we'll mess with timing maybe in the next episode, but for right now, we only need this to run once. So we need to get access to our text panel. So let's create a variable inside here called, which is an my text panel, and let's call it LCD. So now we have to set this to something. We have to get this LCD panel, or this text panel. And the way to do that is pretty long. The line of code, anyway, is pretty long. To get access to everything on this whole grid, let's press OK here. Everything that's inside my cliff base, or anything that's actually attached to this program block, which is everything that's attached to this base, you have to go through the grid terminal system. So that's what we'll do. We'll go grid terminal system, and oh no, that's not what we're doing. And there's a function within the grid terminal system that's called get block with name, and this takes in a string. So we'll put in, pretty sure I called it LCD panel. LCD panel, and you would think, oh man, that's it. Good job. Well, let's test it out. So Control A, Control V, and we'll check the code. Well, we're met with an error. It says that it cannot convert the IMyTerminal block to IMyTextPanel. Okay, so that means that this is returning an IMyTerminal block. Well, we don't need that. We need an IMyTextPanel. So to do that, we can just to do that, we can just, let's copy that, make a cast. We just cast it into an IMyTextPanel. And let's try that. Let's see if that works. Ah, man. Control Z, Control A. Check that. Okay, so that works. Oh man, that is a long piece of code there, isn't it? So if we have like a lot of blocks that we're trying to access through this one program, that becomes a pain in the ass. So I want to create something that gives us the terminal block. That's a much shorter sentence than that. So let's make this get block, and we'll send it a string name, and we will return this. Return this, but we don't want LCD panel in there. We want name. So let's fix that. Put in name. And now we'll cast this. Alright, let's check that to make sure that our code is working. Control A, Control V, check our code. Alright, no errors. Okay. So this code here, this, I don't know that it exists very openly or easily through all this API here, without going into the grid terminal system itself, which has a bunch of functions within it in the index. We don't really need to go into all that and go searching that out to find it. All we really need was the iTerminal block itself and how to do that. We've already figured that out. That's good. So now let's go into the IMyTextPanel and see what kind of functions and methods or properties and stuff that we have in here to change. And this is kind of what I wanted to show you guys, is how to use this API to get access to everything inside of these blocks. So now we have our LCD set up. We can change stuff through that LCD and all the components within here. So let's find how to change the actual text itself. This was an old function that was just updated in the last update. Write public text. That's now obsolete, so we have to find out what the new one is, and that is write text. So let's change the text by typing write text, and is this working? Let's select all of that, Control C to copy it, come over here, Control A, Control V, and we'll check the code. Sure, it looks like it's working, or at least it's compiling. So let's recompile and run. Is this walking? Well, it is walking. So, we have made a function in this tutorial so far to gain access to these blocks, figured out how we can cast them to what we need, and learned through the API itself how we can actually get and set things, functions within each block. So we could also, let's probably change the font size. Let's do that. Let's change the font size, and that takes a float, or is a float. So let's see if it's as simple as just going, let's do it before we write the text. Let's go LCD font size equals, let's say 4. Make it really big. Oh, I never saved this. Alright, so let's go in here and let's save it as Space Engineers Tutorial. And let's save that. And Control A, Control C, edit, Control A, Control V, and let's check our code. Yep, that's compiling. And let's check it. Oh man, that is too big. Hey, but we figured out how to use it. We figured out how to make our font size larger. Hope you learned how to kind of look at the API and how to get the things that you want, how to change the things that you want within a certain kind of block, and we'll go into some more detail in a little bit, how we can get some information on some other blocks and display it to our screen. I hope this is helpful so far. Again, we're probably going to get into some pretty detailed things over the next few tutorials. Like I said, we'll fix some problems that I've found, and I don't know, play with some maybe some animation on some of these LCD blocks, and throw in stuff like this. There are tutorials on this already, but I might as well throw in some animations. I like animations. So thanks you guys for checking this out. Probably have another video right next to this one today. I'm trying to get as many done as I can, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, thanks.